Hello, hello, and we're live. We are live, and it's Thursday. Oh my gosh, where'd the week go? How are we already into July? What, a week now? Today is 7th? Oh my gosh, we're already a week into July. Like, where did this month go? So crazy, crazy. So, sorry, I apologize. I'm coming at you from a different location just because I have family visiting. It's fantastic, but I've got my little granddaughter sleeping where I normally am, and I've got my daughter and my son here, and my older daughter and son. So we got like a full house of people. So super fun. But I was coming, so that's why I'm in a different location, and it took me a few minutes. I was a little late because I was having to set things up, and camera wasn't working, and all that jazz. But super excited to be here. Had a really fun, a really great time on Tuesday after I did a live at noon. And then at 1 o'clock, I taught all about the 10 spiritual senses. And it ended up going a little long. Like I went in depth a bit more on each of them. And so it ended up being like an hour and a half or something of just content on all those 10 spiritual senses. And really, it was still just an introduction. On that live, though, I did make a special announcement, and I wanted to mention it here as well, just so that you guys can have this opportunity if it was something you were interested in. But two things. The first is that starting on July 26th, for 6 weeks, we're doing an entire, it's a course and like a coaching for 6 weeks, all about those 10 spiritual senses and how they work, all of the little nuanced ways that they can move and flow through a person. And just based on too, like how I'll share some of the insights on how I see the energy moving through a person and how you can start to understand your intuitive language, even though it's really subtle or even really unique. Because we all have these senses. They're not our gifts, but they're our senses, right? Our sight, the way we can see things. That's the clairvoyance, claircognizant. And there's even a couple that I even coined and named clair expression, clair movement are a couple of them that you guys have never even heard of, probably, unless you've gone through some of my courses. Clair tangency, which is touch, or clair empathy, which is emotions. What else? The taste, the smell, the hearing, like there's 10 of them, and they move through us, and they can be, like I said, it's our own unique intuitive language. And so anyway, I'm going to be diving into that for 6 whole weeks. We'll go into each of those and not only just learn about them, but we're going to experience each of them. And so you get to experience them and test some of them out and see which ones are your dominant and how they show up in you, because they are really unique. And then we'll also go through how to strengthen them and how to enhance those abilities, as well as discernment and how to kind of discern and navigate through those that in the information as it comes through you. So super awesome. Wanted to mention that it's out there. And if you wanted to sign up for that, it's just on the iamlivinglight.com. And it is underneath the courses. I'll put that link there, but it's just underneath courses, and it's like unlocking your intuitive superpowers is what that's called. So if you're interested in that, it also comes with a free trial membership to the Intuition Gym, which is my membership that has over 24 courses in it and weekly live coaching and live readings like this more than anywhere else. And you get that every single week in the Intuition Gym. And you get a trial there for 3 months. So it's a crazy awesome deal. The other thing that I just want to mention, and I'll dive in on reading the energy and answering your questions today. And this is an opportunity. Well, 2 things. Back to the group one, the unlocking your intuitive superpowers. It does have a limited amount of people that I can take. I already have quite a few. I haven't added them up, but I'm only taking like 20 people. So it's going to fill up. Actually, maybe 25 tops. But I already have people signed up, and so that's going to go fast. So anyway, just to let you know that. And then for another certain amount of people, and the details I won't go into here because I don't want to take too much time, but if you have a desire to work with me personally or get a session with me, if you would like some of your gifts, drawn out on how they work, and or even I even can create these reports that show the energy working through you, your aura, like how your personality is, your dominant, intuitive, your personality types, as well as your spiritual senses. And it includes like a drawing, your essential oil blend, a painting. When I say drawing, it's like I draw how it moves through you, how the energy moves through you. And then I also have one that's like your divine drawing, and a whole like workbook all about you. So I've got some private opportunities, and that's only going to be for, depending on which packages sell, between 4 and 8 people. Because the big package, I can only, I can only take less of them. So I either have room for 4 of the big packages or 8 if people just want the smaller sessions with the drawings and stuff. If you want to be one of those people, just type, how about, you can just send me a private message, or just let me know in the comments here. Like, I'd love to know more, and I'll send you some information. So those are all the exciting, exciting things going on. We have had a crazy amount of growth in the free group, the Awaken and Explore group. And we just had lots of conversations about these spiritual senses. So if any of you guys watching today would like to have some of your spiritual senses, like me tell about the energy that flows through your spiritual sense, I'd love to do that too, because that's kind of the topic that I'm hyped up on right now. But really, I'm here to answer any of the questions for you, anything that you have going on. I can just share with you how I see the light and the energy and the way that things move through you. And I can just share those insights with you. And let's see what else. Oh, and reminder too, I am also streaming to multiple places. So if you're on a Facebook group, you do have to give StreamYard permission in order for me to see your name. But if you're on one of the pages or something, then I can just see your name. But so it's kind of a reminder there. And let's start with the energy of the day. And does anybody have any questions? Is anybody excited? Like, you might even be watching. I know we've got several people that have been watching these things who already are doing the 6-week spiritual sensing. Are you guys excited? Or did you watch the live? Were you on the training? I had I think 260 people registered for that. So they're also getting the recording. If you guys want the recording too, let me know. Write recording in the comments, and I'll send you the link, and you can have the recording of that free class. It's totally free, and then you get a printable PDF with it as well. So, all right, let's dive into the energy of the day, shall we? Let's see what's going on in the world. Got my little notebook, my pens. That's okay. Okay, hold on one second. Let me just see what's going on in the world. Okay, so I did look at the energy. I've looked at the energy of the day the last couple of days, and so some of it is a continuation on that. But the way the energy looks when I see it, I see all the strands and colors and movements and connections and patterns and even grids and like flows, like where it's going, and it moves. I describe it as an ocean of energy. It just always moves. And it just varies in brightness and strands and colors, as well as like frequency and even messages and like purpose and intention of the energy. So, and it looks a lot like kind of like a layered, because everything has energy. Everything has this movement and light and energy. And so when I look at the energy of things, it's like this layered X-ray. And so I like to ask questions, and this is why when you guys ask a question, I can look at the energy of that question. If you just say, hey, what do you see right now? It'd be like, what don't I see right now? There's this going on, this going on, this going on, this going on. So it's really helpful to ask questions. When I'm looking at, so when I just kind of look at the energy of the day, what I'm looking at is some of this like background energy that moves through the collective that's affecting all of us. Okay. And because it looks like movements and, like I said, like an ocean of energy, because that's really what it looks like, then it's not just like a snapshot, like, oh, this is what it is. Chink, chink. It's moving and shifting. So the last couple of days I've looked at the energy, and today it looks like almost like a cloud, like a storm cloud that they are like clouds on a cloudy day, right? The clouds are kind of in and then they kind of change shape and then they kind of dissipate the next day. That's kind of some of how the energy moves and changes when I see it. But there were some, speaking of clouds, there was kind of an energetic rolling cloud that was coming in, and it looked a little bit darker in color, a little bit more gray, a little bit denser. And it was kind of like a storm was rolling in, but it was a type of energetic storm. And it had a lot of messages there with, uh, they were rolling. So you think about the symbolism of that rolling energy. So it kind of washes over you and then kind of pulls you down and pulls you within. Okay, so that was part of the message that was there with this energy. It was kind of rolling over, a little bit of like self-reflection, and then also a purification, like let me reflect on things and let me look at it, and it might be really uncomfortable, but it's going to kind of pull it back up, right? The rolling motion. So it rolls over in you and then pulls something out for you to look at it. It had a lot of themes of, like I said, self-improvement, some like what can I do to, like maybe your flaws are kind of staring you at the face, or what can be better, or problems or things that aren't right just are really, really loud to you right now because they're right up in your face because they were just kind of brought up to the surface. Um, and then, and it's, so anyway, so that was kind of the energy of what was going on. And some of that is still going on right now. So that's why I wanted to mention that. So it's still going on, but let me see what else is there. So there's like this, it's kind of an orangish structure, like a grid, kind of like a patterned energy coming in as well. And it's like on the way out after the rolling energy, there's this like orange kind of pattern structure there. So, which kind of tells me there that there is, that there's like things that you could do differently, or new goals, new structures for you to, like after you do this this deep like gutting you out, like let me bring things to the surface. Now it's asking you to take action and to put it into different structures. So that's kind of the orange. So this would be a great time. What goals, what is not okay for you anymore, and what are you going to do differently? Or if there's been something that hasn't working, why wasn't working? Why were you putting up with it? And how are you going to make it work better in the future? Right? So let's look at it. Let's do something about it. So a lot of that being and doing. So we're going to do something about it. There is also a great deal of, I'm kind of seeing this like a light blue energy that kind of comes down through, like almost through the sky, and then just kind of washes over us. It really does look like it's raining, like this rain of this beautiful light blue energy, which has a lot of loving, compassionate, like emotion and energies in it. And it looks like, reminds me of, well, it's like a lot of like angelic messages, like a lot of angels and spirits just being like, hey, I love you. It's kind of the soothing, soothing messages. Like if you just kind of imagine angels or the spirits, those loved ones on the other side, just going, hey, you're okay. It's going to be okay. Like it's like hang in there. Like just those words of comfort and encouragement. We're getting this washed down, just like a light rain trickle of loving, comforting words and messages and feelings, right? Because it's just this message of like, oh, you're okay, you're okay. So that's beautiful. Like, so if you are going through something hard right now, know that you are not alone, and you have this angelic support. You have these loved ones around you telling you these things. So lean into it. How does it feel? Can you recognize those messages? And especially the more struggle and uproar that you're experiencing in your life, the greater that they're there, but you just might not hear them because the chaos can be so loud. And this is like a very beautiful bluish water, loving, comforting. So if you don't feel it, I would invite you to find a way to listen for it. Carve out that time to sit, to receive, to feel, to be still and quiet so that you can hear those loving and beautiful angelic messages that are coming to you. So that was very beautiful, very cool. And so I went a little bit long on the energy of the day, but I hope that you guys like that. Are you guys resonating with it? Are you guys experiencing some of that? Are you experiencing some of that kind of like pulling things out? Are you receiving? Can you feel some of that comforting love? Love to know. So, yeah. Okay, well, feel free. I'm here to even ask any questions that you'd like to ask here. Um, and then in the meantime, too, I can also keep. There are some other things I can share with you. That kind of some fun things about the way spiritual senses flow through. Um, let's see. Okay, I'm reading comments here. Yes. Oh, I love this. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. That was great. I hopped on. It felt like you were talking to me. Oh, I love that. Probably was. Probably was. Because like before I hop on here too, um, I definitely like say my quick prayers and just be like, what am I supposed to share? And I just read the energy of what's going on. And so it probably was. And here we go. I don't see the name on this one, but we have another someone who's resonating, being like, I'm experiencing that. So that's cool. Oh, that's beautiful. I totally asked heaven for help yesterday to pull me up. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I gotta say, like, gosh, I was getting some pretty big emotions and things coming up, and I was like, man, what is this? Like, some of it was like familiar wounds in my own life. And I'm like, okay, some of that is familiar, but the depth of it and the emotional and the pain, I finally was just like looking at this going, this isn't all mine. Like there's no way this is matching my life. Like I find, like I understand, I don't feel the triggers with my own life. And when I opened up to, oh, some of this is other people's part of the collective, part of what we're experiencing. And then I read the energy of the day. I was like, oh, yep. I definitely just want to say, like, I feel you guys. Like I feel that there's quite a magnitude of up-leveling and challenges that are coming forth. So I love that. Oh, oh, is she with you? Okay, yeah, Tatiana. Thank you for asking this. Is there something that you would like me to look at for you as well, especially if you're hurting for her? Is it hurting for her to, I mean, it's good to have compassion, but is it kicking into too much hurt for you? Is there something there that you want me to look at for you? And you asked her. Okay. And thank you for that. So for those of you that may not be familiar, or I don't know how often I say this, but agency is key for looking at energy or even or looking into a person's life. Like, and if you don't have permission, it violates agency, and that's when things go wrong. Like it goes wonky. So so thank you for checking in and giving me and the permission. So when I always have to get permission. Well, I don't have to, but I've learned that if I don't, like I said, it goes wonky and I'm violating people, and I don't violate people. Like agency is so important. So I'll definitely get the permission before I check on a person. And I also check in with energy. Sometimes people say, yes, you have my permission. And I go into access their or look at their energy. I don't like to say access, but like I like to just watch what's going on. And then all of a sudden I'm like, your energy says no, or your spirit is saying no. So anyway, so I'll check on that. Okay, let me see here. Oh, for your grandbaby, there must be some, or there might be something for you because you had several miscarriages, and I'm hurting because I know how much it hurt, I guess. Does that make sense? Yep, absolutely. Especially because I kind of have done like I've done a reading, or I've done some of these things with you, and I know the magnitude of your heart gifts. And I don't remember if it's one of your dominant, but I wouldn't be surprised if like that clear empathy or the emotions in your heart is like one of your dominant spiritual senses, because it's really, really beautiful. Okay, so let's see here. Let me see what comes up. Okay, so the things that came up first is I could feel like the first thing was just that sink in the heart and the pain and the sorrow and the sadness and just the emotions involved in the whole situation. And then when I leaned into like if there's something to hear or to know, I was hearing like this message that was basically like a reminder that oh, it was like this reminder to have a longer perspective, like to know that this pain that you're feeling, I'm just, I feel like just saying, don't shoot the messenger. These are the words that came. I'm like, I don't want to dismiss any pain at all because I know it can be intense, but it feels like this will be but a fleeting moment, is what I'm hearing. Like, yes, this is so painful and it's so hard, but it will be a fleeting moment in the eternal span of our existence. And that, and it also feels like there was purpose to it, so it feels like there was purpose where it was like maybe it was an ectopic pregnancy or it wasn't growing in the right place or wasn't growing in the right way. And so there was purpose in this happening because something about the physical body wasn't able to be formed in the best way. And but yet it was still able to create and generate this life and and to remember and to put that into the perspective that in the long run, it will be okay, even though it's hard and painful now. And that long run may not be now or even like I don't know the time frame on that, but it's just I'm just being shown this longer perspective. And of course, those words. I'm hoping that that intention came through because those words. I'm like I don't want to dismiss and be like, oh, just get over it. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. Like feel it, but that perspective will make this moment like a fleeting moment in the eternities with that experience. Um, there's also something, this is something, this feels like it's like for you, Tatiana. Um, but this might be for you too. And there's something I could see about your heart and being lifted up. And it felt like uh, um, I'm hearing the phrase like to rejoice. What can you rejoice in? Like where can you find the gratitude? So gratitude and joy, right? And rejoicing. And it's like you just see this rejoicing coming out of your heart and your chest. And actually that feels very specific to you too, that there is a so thinking about the gifts that can come through the heart, right? That spiritual sense, if that's your dominant and it's really amplified, and then you have gifts that flow through the heart energy, and there's like all this heart energy. So, yes, it can feel things more intensely. Yes, it can feel more pain. But on the opposite side, it can also feel more joy. And just like it can absorb a lot, it can also send out a ton, right? It's a capacity thing. So it's this giant capacity to receive and to send out. So when you rejoice and your heart is full of joy and gratitude and love, you send that out and your heart is going to magnify and like it'll be amplified because of the capacity. So more than maybe somebody else who doesn't have that gift flow through their heart like that. So remember the power that you have, Tatiana, with your heart to just expand it out and to rejoice and to have that gratitude, joy, and love. Gratitude, joy, and love. That's the rejoicing. And you just send that out in your heart and it will help lift people up. It will help heal them. It will help make them happy and feel that love. So send that out. Definitely, definitely. Yes, agreed. Yeah, this is not over. This life and everything is it, I guess that is the words where it's fleeting. So thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. Okay, I love, love, love that. So many great messages coming through today. Um, I mean, that was just like the one question that we went dove into, but I just really feel like all the things that I was sharing about the energy of the day, like it just feels like there was a lot of great messages for us today. And then I just feel a lot of, I guess the word is humble gratitude for the opportunities that I have that I can be here and that I can serve you, I can serve others. I am extremely excited to have the opportunity for those individuals. I wish I could just take everybody on, right, and help them, but I do have to limit my 6 week thing to, well, about 20, 25 tops. Um, and I vary there because if it's some of my intuition gym members, then I can take a bit more just because they're going to be more familiar with some of them. They can kind of help some of the flow, so I can take a few extra if there's some of those members. But but I just feel a lot of like gratitude for the opportunity to serve and to coach and to help people open up their gifts and their abilities and their intuition and their spiritual senses. And more than anything, to help people know who they are and why they're here. That is like help, just to help them discover that and to see the light in their eyes. And so I hope I hope that I was able to help you guys here today with some of that. Um, and then I'm really looking forward to some of the other things coming up too. So if you guys have any desire, if there's something that you would like some next level support on, let me know. Like I said, I've got the 6 weeks coming up. You can go to iamlivinglight.com under courses, and it's unlock your intuitive superpowers. And it comes with the Intuition Gym, a trial membership there. So I can help there. Or if you'd like to work with me privately, I am literally just opening up, depending on the level of which you work with me, either 4 or 8 sessions. If they're the big sessions, then I've only got enough for 4 people, just because of the time that it takes. But if it's just the, hey, just help me understand my spiritual senses, help me do a session and do a drawing, help me know how they work through it, and we'll kind of work through a little bit of it. If it's just the basic one, I can take up to 8. And that's over the next 2 months, because it's just really, I don't do a lot of these sessions. So it's kind of a big deal that I just open them up. I don't take just open sessions a lot of times. I usually just only take current clients or those from my membership or referrals from my current clients. So I don't open things up very often. So if you guys do want that, I'm here and I would love to help. I love that. Natalie's, I can confirm. She doesn't. I don't. I don't take a lot of private people anymore. I used to, and then it was just like, here's my scheduling, like, and then I booked 3 months out, and then I had people going, well, I need help, and I'd be like, oh, here, I'm 3 months in the future. It was like, that felt a little yucky. And so I don't just hand out my scheduling link anymore, as I like to either work with people more than one session, or like I said, current clients or referrals, and then keep it within a few weeks. And then I just kind of keep opening that. All right, you guys, does anybody else have any questions? I have time for just like maybe one more. Or should we just see what comes? Maybe there's another message for us of some kind. Oh, that's funny. I just got a message. You guys want me to share with you on this? It might be for you. I don't know who this is for, or if it's more than one of us. Maybe it's all of us. But so okay, so I threw that up and I was like, okay, what's coming down through? And I got a little bit of a stern energy, and it was a little bit of like this, get going. So there's something, and it was like this there's something that you're here to do, and there's something that maybe you've had impressions or promptings that you're supposed to do, and it's like, do it, like, go ahead and get going on what it is. It just feels like there's this and whoever this is for, I see a little bit of like an intensity and pressure coming in, that if you don't move, it's going to just increase and get intensified. And this doesn't mean you have to go do these humongous things, but it's just get moving, get going in the direction. What can you do? Okay, sometimes we have a vision of something like, oh, I'd love to do this someday, and you have a vision, we can get frozen in the vision of it. And this message today is just get moving. Like, God can't move a parked car. Take one step and then another step. What can you do? If you can't do this big thing, can you take a little step towards it? Like, what can you do to get to that, to the ultimate vision down the road? And then I'm also hearing, oh my goodness, is this? I'm also feeling or kind of hearing some of these things about like, you already know what to do. So if you're doubting, like, well, I don't know what to do, it's like you already know. Like you've already been given the information, you've already had the promptings. Maybe there's something that you've already been taught or told, and you just haven't trusted it and listened to it. And so this message is very much like you already know what to do. Just get going. Just take some action. Take a step forward. And then I'm also hearing that when you don't take a step forward, then it makes you frozen in fear where you stand. Okay. Is there anything else on that? That was really cool. Yeah, it's like I could just see if you're not taking forward action, then you get frozen and stiff in where you stand. Like, I don't know what to do. So I just am going to sit here frozen in one place. So it's like, just get moving. I'm really curious. Is this resonating with anybody? This is a very specific message that came through. Could be for a lot of us. Like I said, could be for lots of us, but it was very specific. So I'm wondering, did this resonate with you? Kind of fun. Ah, yes. Yeah, I'm sitting there going, well, I can kind of like listen to some things on that. Okay, I'm loving it. That's what I do. Yes. Okay. Thank you guys for giving me some of that feedback there, because it was stern too. It was like, enough. Get started. Get moving. Do what you're here to do. Like you already know, you just have to do it and take action. And then of course, as always, that sternness always comes with a very compassionate and loving, like it feels like a loving hug, but yet someone pushing you from behind, like a loving hug, like, hey, you got this. I love you. Go now, go. Like a mama or a dad pushing us out of the nest. So time to fly, my friends. Okay. Oh, I love it. Oh, this makes me happy. Yes, I agree. It applies to so many, and this gives me chills, Tatiana. Yes, literally wrote my intention for the day, and you gave me the answer. Yay. That makes me cry. Like all of a sudden I'm feeling like this emotion. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for allowing me to do what I do and just serve you guys. I love you. And again, if you are wanting that 6 weeks, starts July 26th to the end of August. Develop your spiritual, really unlock your intuition, your intuitive superpowers. IamLivingLight.com, or let me know, especially if you wanted to book some of the one-on-one private working with me. I've got just either the sessions, or I've got a series, like a 3-session option with like lots of different things that you can receive. So let me know on that if you're interested. Okay, everyone. Love you. Have a beautiful day. Bye.